today we are going to forgive ourselves. We are going to explore self-forgiveness. I know it can be a tricky place to go. It could be very vulnerable, but we're not going to use any judgment. We're just going to explore and see what it feels like. Because we tend to forgive others so much more easily than ourselves. We tend to hold ourselves to an impossible standard. It's just sort of the way of life today. And we criticize ourselves, and then when we make mistakes, we harbor this guilt and this shame, and we can't get past it. And you really can't get on with life and live freely if you're harboring these feelings, this blame towards yourself. We really need to be able to forgive ourselves and move on. And something that we need to realize is that the past is in the past. It's not even real. It's not now. We're here and present now in this moment. And maybe our mistake helped us to learn and grow, and that brought us to this moment, but we are not the mistake and we are not the past. We're not made up of that. We are who we are right now. So I am so glad that right now you are here with me to do this self-massage for forgiveness. Let's just start by getting centered. Have a nice seat. Take a nice deep breath in through the nose, out through the nose. And I want you to lean in to those feelings of blame and shame and guilt, that reluctance to forgive yourself. Just explore it non-judgmentally. We're exploring it mindfully, and see if it has a physical place in your body. Where do you feel that? Any self-loathing or blame or guilt, where is that living in your body? Warm up your hands. Really get some heat, really get some energy. And then just rest them on that place where you're feeling that reluctance, that resistance to self-forgiveness. And explore what it's like to give that space, to allow it to move, to change. Breathe right into that. Breathe right in there. And on the exhale, see if you can soften it, melt it, release it. Realize that it's not serving you. It's only holding you back, and you don't need it. You don't need it. So breathe in, right into that place. And let it go. Evaporate, disappear, gone. Heal that place with your hands. Send it love, send it forgiveness. Send it space to move and grow. Wonderful. And then relax your hands down. We're going to start with a little foot massage. So take your footwear off if it's not already. You'll just grasp your foot in between your hands and start doing some nice little thumb circles on the bottoms of the feet. It feels so good. Our feet do so much work, and they get so neglected because they're the farthest away from our heads, from our hearts. We tend to forget about them. So just explore the entire foot, the entire plantar surface, even at the bases of the toes. And if you want to find a really good spot, it's in acupressure, it's the solar plexus reflex. And if you just take your thumb and move straight up the middle, so just right up the middle of the foot, you will fall into a sort of indentation about 2/3 of the way up to the toes. And you'll feel it, it's softer. You'll just, boop, your thumb will just go right in there. Hold that place, hold that pressure, and just breathe. It might be sensitive, so if it's too tender, just back off a little bit. Make the pressure feel good, feel like a nice release, no pain. Should all feel good. And just hold it there. Let yourself feel the sensations in your body. Be kind to yourself. Allow yourself to feel pleasure and calm. And if you want, you can make some little circles there too with your thumb. And then you can do some good tractioning of the toes. So I'm just taking the big toe, wiggling it a bit, massaging it between my fingers, and pulling. Just tractioning that joint, or those joints really. The next toe, massage and pull. Opening up those little joints and giving those toes some love. And when you're ready, let's take it over to the other foot. So get a hold and start doing those lovely thumb circles. One side will probably feel more tender than another, and it's totally normal. We all have our sides that are stronger, weaker, more flexible, more rigid, feel better, feel worse. Go right up that medial arch along the inside of the foot that often gets so tense and tight, especially if you are either flat-footed or have very high arches. Both of those things can create a lot of tension in the plantar fascia of this medial arch. So I'm using fingers now too. You can do that if your thumbs get tired. Just use your fingers here. Any tool you want, it's all good. And then again, right up the middle of the foot, right up the center, boop, falls in. See if yours also makes that noise. Boop, and falls into that indentation, that soft spot, and just hold it and breathe. You can hold, you can make circles. I like to just hold a point like this and see what I feel in my body. You can close your eyes and breathe. Feel it connect with other areas of the body. I can actually feel this relaxing my knees. So interesting, right? And then we can do our toe traction. Twist, twist, massage, massage, and pull. Twist, twist. You might get some little cracks. That's okay. And let's go ahead and start massaging our calf. So you can just lean in. If you bend your knee and put it right in front of you, you can sit on a chair and put your foot on another chair to do this as well. I'm just making circles up and down with my palms, just like that. You can go all the way down to the Achilles tendon. You can also lean in and just put some nice deep pressure. Leaning with my body weight, not pushing with my hands. You don't want to tire out your arms and hands. Lean. You can also grasp the calf like this and do some petrissage, which is sort of like taking the tissue and lifting it up off the bone. You can do that. You can do it with circles, kneading it. Those calves get so tight, right? Feels really good. If you have problems with your feet or plantar fasciitis, anything like that, your calves normally are a little cranky, a little angry as well. And brush it off. On to the next side, which of course will probably feel different than the first side, and that's okay. So we'll start with those palm circles, just going up and down. Interestingly, this one feels more developed to me. I feel like I have more muscle tone on this side. Maybe? Probably means I have to exercise my left calf just a little bit more than my right to make it even. It's just information to let you know where you might need attention, or it may require no action. It's just information. So leaning and pressing. And then of course you can pick up and do circles, picking up all that tissue underneath, lifting it off the bone. And get that Achilles tendon. And then we'll move on to release those tight hips that have tension. Maybe when we're not forgiving ourselves, a lot of that tension goes into the hips. So you're going to cradle your top leg, and if you're not this flexible, don't worry about it. I'll show you another way. So you're gonna cradle your bottom leg, because you're gonna be moving onto your side, and you're just going to massage that hip on the ground. You're just using the ground to put pressure, and it's gonna feel really good. And it could be intense. So if you can't cradle your whole foot like that, just hook your knee over your elbow, over your arm, and start just rolling around. You can support yourself with your hand and the other foot, and see where it feels like it needs you to just hang out there for a while and release. If you go over onto the side more, you're going to get gluteus medius and minimus, those side hip areas. If you roll to the back a little bit, you're going to get piriformis and the other lateral rotators, all that good stuff that could be very tender. So just take it slow and easy, rock your body, find where it feels good, and give it a really nice release. Breathing as you do this, please. Deep breaths in through the nose, out through the nose. So good. You can roll over close to the sit bone, the ischial tuberosity. A lot of attachments there. And over onto the side. Just leaning your weight, your body weight and the ground are creating this massage for your hip. And when you're ready, very slowly, come on out, and you'll be going over to the other side. So if you have the flexibility, you can cradle your whole leg like this. If you don't, just hook knee and elbow here. and that is fine too. So one foot up, one hand, support yourself, and go ahead and see how this feels the same, how this feels different from the other side, where it needs some extra love. You can rock there, you can just hold it there. I love this rocking sensation too, it's very soothing. Get the side of the hip, the back of the hip rolling over. Piriformis is usually quite tender, but you don't need to know anatomy to do this. I know I'm mentioning a lot of muscles, but you just need to find where it feels good. That's it. If it feels good, you're doing it right. That's a good place right there. Woo! I'm just gonna rock on that a little bit. Oof. It's a little intense, but I don't want it to hurt, so I gotta go a little easy. And when your hips are nice and relaxed, come back up and have a seat, and let's roll the shoulders. Make sure they're nice and open. Open your chest. When we don't forgive ourselves, we have all this stress and guilt, and we close off in front, and our posture gets all hunched over, and we start having neck pain and shoulder pain, and we just don't feel as good. When you're closed off and you're shorter and you're rounded forward, it tends to exacerbate your moods, the negativity and the stress. It just sort of makes that cycle. You go like this, you feel worse, you go more like this. So open up, roll those shoulders, even grasp the hands behind the back and lift them out and up if you like. Take your fingers, go right on the sternum, that breastbone, that hard plate, right on the chest. And just press in and feel the chest open up. Deep breaths here. Feeling the chest rise on the inhale. Relax on the exhale. And we can even do a little myofascial release. So you want to go pretty much on the nipple line right here. You'll start there on that breastbone, on the sternum. Point the fingers up towards the neck and just do a nice myofascial release. Opening up as you do this, feeling yourself grow taller and the front of the chest grow wider as you slowly, slowly move your way up towards the neck. Feel it open the whole front of the body. And then you can let one arm go as you massage the pectorals, opening up the chest further. The pecs like to bring that shoulder down and forward. We're going to bring it back. So massaging all that tissue under the clavicle. That's the collarbone here. Just nice circles with a good pressure. The pressure, that's your sweet spot. Not too hard, not too light, just right. And then we can start right at the edge of the sternum, just come right on that, right off the breastbone, right into the soft tissue and the ribs, and just start to move towards the shoulder. But you just gather the tissue and then really wait for a release. I'm pressing towards the shoulder, but I'm waiting for the tissue to move. So relax that other arm down, and you can even do some shoulder rolls actually while you do this to make it a little more intense. If it's too much, just don't do the rolls. All the way out. I even like to go all the way out to the shoulder, even the deltoids. And let's go ahead and do the other side. So just start with those nice circles. Let that shoulder drop back and down. Breathing. Being nice to yourself and forgiving yourself for anything you've done. It's in the past. Doesn't matter now. Learn and move on. And you know what? We're human. All of us make mistakes. All right, so starting at the right off of the sternum here and engaging the tissue. And again, we'll go ahead and move towards the shoulder, letting the release take us. And of course, you can add those shoulder rolls if it feels good. And if you want, go all the way around the shoulder like I do. And drop those arms, roll the shoulders, feel it nice and open. Take a nice breath, which is probably easier to take now. Give yourself a little ear massage, just pulling in circles, sort of tractioning and pulling at the same time, rolling my fingers like this. You could do both at the same time. Waking up. Ear massage is nice and energizing. You're going to find the tops of your ears and you're going to make a line up to the top of your head, and where that meets, just put some pressure right there. It's right in the center of the top of your skull by Hui point, and it's really, really calming and good for letting us open up and receive and accept. And take some nice breaths there. It's a great point. Make sure that shoulder is nice and relaxed. Even though your arm is up, you can still relax your shoulder. Just sort of like gravity, hold your fingers down on your head more than, you're not pushing it so much as you're just resting it and letting gravity apply the pressure. And some nice breaths. So nice. You can make little circles if you like. And when you're ready, very slowly take your fingers off that point, but still feel it. Still feel that point. It's still engaged. Feel it lift you. Feel as if there's a balloon string attached and a balloon is floating up and bringing your spine and neck nice and tall, giving it space, giving it openness, giving it air, room to breathe. Turn your palms face up to be open to new things, open to exploring the present and yourself, and open to forgiving yourself. You need to forgive yourself. You can't hold on to it because it's not serving you, and it could even be holding you back. And there's just no reason. Think of the forgiveness you have for others and turn it inward. Give it to yourself. It's over, it's done. And I'm so glad you did this self-massage with me. I hope you're feeling better.